Welcome to TripleFP. I am your host, Dougie Fresh, wearing the Najee Harris jersey from Heinzman Jerseys. My other co-host with me, Jolin Snow Ninja, wearing the Steve Young 75th anniversary for the Niners. And down here, we got Robert Heinzman of Heinzman Jerseys wearing his, I
Hey,
can't see the number. I can't see the
it's
number, man.
Herbert.
It's a Herbie jersey. I should have known that. Why would
Come
you
on,
wearing some
baby.
old ass jersey like a number 13 or nothing like that? Welcome.
Facts.
Welcome back to the show, guys. This is fun. It's just fairly more recent episode since the last one. 2 weeks, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
getting that schedule. I like it. Anything we want to throw out there? How you guys been?
Let's start
been
with
good, man. I'm anxious for football season. That's all I know.
yeah, it's crazy because training camp has basically officially started and like one of the big news is just like Karen Rogers. Let's go with that. She's showing up to
Karen
training camp like
Rogers,
nothing ever happened and
Jolin.
yeah.
The disrespect. That's my job.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're swapping jobs. You're
But
host. He guys get bashed on Aaron Rodgers. I just do me.
By the
We're
way,
switching
I'm
roles, guys.
I'm usually the one introducing or giving out the introduction, but that was one hell of an intro from Dougie Fresh.
thank you. I do try.
Yeah,
I was reciting it in my head, rehearsing it.
yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
Aaron
You do it.
Rodgers training camp.
I don't know, man. I was kind of expecting it to happen, though. There was some part of me that really hoped the reality that he would be a Bronco or anywhere else but Green Bay was just happen eventually. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for it, just a swift kick in the balls to the Green Bay Packer fans. But
I know
you
Bears
know,
fans are punching the air right now.
oh man, Bears, Vikings, Lions.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
all punching the air.
it's
They're pissed.
especially because after the narrative of last season and drafting Jordan Love, it's going to be the same narrative this season. Aaron Rodgers is coming back with a vengeance and a chip on his shoulder. I don't care, dude. He's still a good quarterback. I think he's kind of a passive aggressive douche at times. I've never met the guy. I can't say for sure. But I mean, come on. Like we kind of knew he was going to go back to Green Bay, right? Was there anyone out there that seriously thought he was going to be anywhere else?
To me, like I
Uh,
just feel like it's like he when he came in, I know they took the picture of him and everything. It's like, whoa, nothing ever happened. Like
Right?
nothing
Yes,
ever happened.
exactly.
Like, oh,
Right.
I'm
It's like
good.
when you
I'm
see
gonna
like
play.
it's like when you see a couple like break up, quote unquote, temporarily, but then it's like after a couple months after the summer school's back in session and like they're holding hands and again, it's like, oh, dude, come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Damn, that's a great reference.
Mm.
Hey, all right. So starting in 2 minutes and 40 seconds here, we got something for you folks. We got a mock draft going on live. So we are finally holding up our end of the deal on this show on what we named it, the Final Fantasy Football Podcast. Why is it named that? Two reasons. Either it will be the final fantasy show for football, Final Fantasy Football show you will ever have to watch because we're just going to be that damn good. You won't have to go anywhere else. This will be the final show you ever have to see. Or on the other end of it, we're going to be so bad you're never going to want to listen to us, and this is going to be the last show you'll ever want to listen to.
It's the
You know,
final last show.
it's the final fantasy football podcast. So we got a mock draft coming up. We're finally doing some real fantasy football going on here. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
I'm
2 minute
very
warning.
excited.
2 minute warning. For the viewers that do get to see this eventually here, as we're recording this on a Tuesday. Usually we record on a Monday, but we have it live for the viewers, and this is just really exciting. It's all gonna be fresh, and I'm gonna be going through each pick and just like right here on the screen, and the viewers could definitely stay entertained and see like what it's like. And we're a minute away. Let's talk a little bit about the mock recipe if you'd like, or we could even do that during the draft. 'Cause that
Yeah,
way,
we'll go along with it with the draft and also, just get you into the mindset of when you go into this draft. Right now we pre-chose our spots, so we got in this draft room first. I took number 9, Heinzman.
Number 6.
and I took number 3. And before, I just want to say one thing. Like, I call this mock recipe that I've like praised for many years now since playing fantasy football. And like, there's always that kind of diss at men because they never use recipes while cooking. But damn, I love this mock recipe.
It's better than your mom's papaya salad, yes.
Hey.
The mock recipe is going to be pretty straightforward. If you are familiar with fantasy, this should be just straight up something you should already do for the most part. For newcomers, though, this is what you want to listen to. This is what is going to help you get your foot in the
fantasy
door.
leagues.
Win fantasy, actually. Yeah, win some games. Don't go into your league like a scrub and being at the bottom at 2-12 or 2
Because you drafted
13.
Patrick Mahomes in the first round.
Yeah.
That's what you
don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. But I mean, unless you want to join the money league, then you can be that guy. So that way we can take your money. You feel me?
This is
the draft. And Jolan, is this your first mock draft?
Yes, I was just gonna say that. This is my first official mock draft of 2021. Pretty excited.
Yes, I've been doing them all summer.
I would say I've done maybe about 40.
Oh my god.
Maybe.
Oh man,
you guys are definitely really on it.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah.
I don't think I've even done that many. I've done more than I could count and keep track of, but
yeah,
it sounds like a lot.
It
a lot
is
of downtime.
Dedication, man. This is when I'm taking a poop, just hop on a mock draft real quick.
Oh yeah, man. If you're one of those guys that could take a good 20 to 30 minute dump, mock drafts are for you.
Mock draft. That's all
so
it
we
takes,
got the room open.
It doesn't take a lot.
Awesome.
I just got a comment. I like ESPN's draft setup here.
Yes.
I like their user interface for their drafts, for their mock drafts, for the actual draft. Looking at it now, we do have 2 auto picks in here, pick 2 and pick 5. Hopefully that won't be too bad. I'm excited to get this going, man. So let's just start off with looking at the beginning. We got a minute 40 till the show starts here. So number 1 overall pick, I think it's a little obvious, right, guys? I think everyone should be looking at Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say about it. He's a great PPR back, and we are doing a PPR draft, by the way, 10-team PPR for those that didn't catch on that.
Points per reception.
But CMC is absolutely fantastic when it comes to the PPR game. He's going to catch up on everyone that might outgain him on the ground through the air. So you got to take that in consideration when you're doing these drafts too. If you're in a standard league, he's still probably your number 1 pick, but you don't have to feel as bad if you get a Dalvin Cook or a Derrick Henry. Those guys could still perform. But when it comes to a PPR, oh man, the targets and the receptions they can make off of them are everything. And that's what we're going to be looking for at the beginning of a draft. So the draft strategy kind of goes like this. Your first 4 rounds, you want to fill up on your running backs and your wide receivers. There are some variables in there, but this is the safest route to go. So you usually want to do best player available. So you might prefer to get a running back first round, but let's say you're at the back of the first like I am, and you got Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams up there. I mean, you take best available. You do what you got to do.
Yeah, I agree. Man, like especially for someone like me, I used to play fantasy like drafting Tom Brady in the first round all the time.
Draft day. Yes, sir. Welcome to draft day.
And wow, this draft is already moving. So let's see.
I gotta say number 5 though, Alvin Kamara is a sleeper at number 5. I feel like he can easily be a top 3 running back simply because the Saints offense is going to be relying on him a lot more with Mike Thomas injured, question mark at the quarterback position. I feel like Alvin Kamara's ranked 5 is a little bit too low for him.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Even though Travis Kelce has for some reason shot up the boards and he's at number 4 on this, which I don't agree with.
I don't take a tight end in the first 4 rounds.
Nope, that's like a quarterback, man. Let someone else take him.
Snow Ninja is on the clock, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised Eckler is actually 11. That's pretty crazy. But yeah,
you're out of time.
Haha.
Hey, I like that pick, Derek. Jolin picked
Oh,
Derrick Henry.
Snow Ninja
with
has
like a
Derrick
second to
Henry.
spare. I
So
love
Saquon,
Derrick Henry.
Alvin Kamara. Okay, there's Saquon. All right, now it's my turn.
Real quick on
Okay.
Derrick Henry. I've drafted in the last 2 years in fantasy on some teams. The guy is an absolute workhorse. Gets it on the ground. Doesn't get many targets in PPR, but who cares? The guy could put up 200 yards on the ground. That wins you the day. That wins your week, man. He's a week winner for
Ooh,
sure.
number 6, man. I got Travis Kelce, Eckler, Jonathan Taylor. I don't really trust it. I don't really want to. I think I'm gonna take my bets on Ezekiel Elliott.
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna roll with
I
that.
just did mock, grabbed Zeke. I think the Cowboys are going to have a huge bounce back year with Dak.
Yes, I agree.
Zeke too with it. He's going to get those PPRs as well. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And then
So
number 7,
I'm coming
Tyreek
up.
Hill's off the board.
Wow, he went above
Travis Kelce's
Jonathan
still up
Taylor.
there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
someone
like.
Honestly,
Henry.
I personally don't like Jonathan Taylor in the first round. I don't know if he'll be
I
worth
don't
it, you know?
either. I feel like he's a second round quarterback.
Yeah. Running
I
back.
do believe. I'm sorry. Yes,
Nah, I'm
running
a fan,
back.
you know?
And I don't know why I'm so low on him right now. I do feel like he's worth passing on the first and seeing if you get back on him in the second. Your running back, you usually want those PPRs. I just don't feel like the PPR points are going to come to Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. If Philip Rivers was still there, that'd be one thing.
Oh wow.
So Travis Kelce went because
Someone
of
take
auto
Kelce.
draft, actually.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Dougie Fresh is on the board.
Dougie Fresh
So
is on the clock.
I got to do this because I need a good running back. It's just how I go.
Najee
And
Harris.
looking at the running backs after this, I know I might not be able to get a good one after
Najee
this.
Harris.
Looking at the PPR, the targets that he could get, I got to take.
Eckler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a habit of mine all summer as well. I can't help it. Ugh,
He's perfect, bro. He's perfect for that back end of the first round. He's a perfect pickup.
he really is. And the points you can
Devontae
get out of him,
Adams.
he has the possibility of being a top 10 running back. So
Oh, yes.
maybe even
Stephon
possibly
Diggs.
top 5.
Oh, this guy went. See, this guy right here, number 10, went back-to-back wide receivers. He went to Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs.
Wow.
Wow.
So no running backs. That's very risky because the running back depth on this is not that deep.
Well, now we got to think about this with those top tier receivers out of the way. Who do we take in the second round? And I'm on the clock right now. I'm looking at these running backs. I see Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor. Those are all really good options. We still have. This is hard, but you know what? I said I wouldn't take him in the first, but if he's a first round draft talent, we have to take him now in the second. I'm taking Jonathan Taylor.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Jones.
All right, so real quick before we. All right, go ahead, Heinzman.
All right, so my first round pick. Okay, so one thing that I also look for too is my bye week. So I see that Ezekiel Elliott got a week 7 bye week. I don't want to match somebody else up that has this week 7 bye week. So I was gonna go Najee Harris, but since he has a week 7 bye week, I'm gonna want to avoid that. So with that being said, if I'm going back to Dougie's original statement where we want to stack up on the running backs and wide receivers, best man available. I say best man available right now within this top 6 is DeAndre Hopkins.
I knew it. Dude, and a great choice. So I want to get to this real quick. I know Joe's pick is coming up, but tiers. When you break down into your draft strategy, yes, I say take best available, but sometimes best available is based on your tiers. So what you should do is take, for example, wide receivers. I put Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, and DeAndre Hopkins in tier 1. Those, to me, are the top 4 receivers in this league, without a doubt. And those are guys that can really do it for you, and you shouldn't really pass up on them. Therefore, tier 1. Tier 2, like we have down here, we got A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Calvin Ridley, so on and so forth. So you're kind of looking at that. Jolin, you're on the clock.
Yeah, I like between A.J. Brown and Jefferson. I think Jefferson has a big chip on his shoulder. It's hard to pick between the two. Ridley and Metcalf, not so much. I know they can be very explosive, but I'm looking at Brown and Jefferson. I think, gosh, but between who throws, because I'm going with Kirk Cousins.
3,
Cousins
2.
and
Jefferson. You went with Jefferson?
Yeah, I went with Jefferson. I like Jefferson.
Okay.
I like that pick a lot because I think Jefferson will have. I mean, he already had a great rookie campaign. Imagine his sophomore year coming in with the same quarterback. Adam Thielen, too, had some great points. he had some great games last year. He's a little touchdown dependent, though. So I can imagine some of those touchdowns Adam Thielen got last year could be spread out.
Darren
And
Waller.
Jefferson
Whoa,
could pick up
Darren
on them.
Waller is gone off the board.
Yeah, with my previous pick, can I just say I just thought about Cousins and what is it? The quarterback. I can't even remember his name for the
Tannehill.
Titans. Yeah,
you like
Tannehill.
Cousins over Tannehill?
I think so. I don't know.
Right.
That was tough for me.
You're back on the board again, buddy.
I am. Yeah.
And a note on that too. Also, the shares that AJ Brown will have with Julio Jones.
Oh, gosh, this is tough.
Derrick Henry.
I don't know what running back to take now. Like these guys are. Like,
well, you got
split
DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins would be my two best choices here.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
There are two guys. Chris Carson too. They're all guys that will be for sure starters most likely. Who did you end up going with? J.K. Dobbins. Great choice.
Yeah.
I think Dobbins with the Ravens will be their feature back. And even though Lamar Jackson is a running quarterback, the Ravens love to run the ball. And this is a guy that can get touchdowns. He was able to put up multiple touchdown games last year. Don't sleep on Dobbins, guys. DeAndre Swift, though, liked him too. He will be a workhorse in Detroit.
I was eyeing Keenan Allen, but he just got taken. I was eyeing DK Metcalf, but he got taken as well. So
those were two very good receivers off the board in the third round too.
Yeah, they were. I was eyeing both of them too.
Yep.
So right now, man, honestly, I think Chris Carson is a sleeper. Last year he was banged up a little bit, which affected his draft or his fantasy value. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a Chris Carson off the board.
I think that's a great pick. I think Chris Carson will have a pretty decent year this year as well. Probably most likely better than last year because I don't think they'll be passing the ball with all the talk about how much they want to run it, or at least not as much as they did. Russell Wilson won't be having those 500-yard games like he did last year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alrighty. We are waiting on 2 picks until me. Just looking at some of the people left on the board: DeAndre Swift, Miles Sanders, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin, David Montgomery, Allen Robinson, Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, Robert Woods. We still got a lot of great players here in the third round.
Absolutely.
And this is why I tell people, take what's best available when
George Kittle.
Someone took my Kittle
off the board.
Take what's best available in the first couple rounds. Don't worry about if you take running back or receiver, because this is on the back end where you'll complement them. So I took 2 running backs. I need 2 receivers. AJ Brown right here, I think, is kind of a do or die. I mean, I need to take him because of the potential he has. I'm a little worried about his, share with Julio Jones, but I don't think that's going to deter him from being the number 1 wide receiver in Tennessee and possibly being even a wide receiver 1, in which he needs to be on my team now because he's my first receiver off the board. Oh, man. And looking at it again, I'll have to take another receiver as we go back on me in the snake. We are 1 pick away. Couple other guys down the board. We got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. You guys got any thoughts on those 2 Cowboys wide receivers? And they're very close together in ADP. As you see, Amari Cooper is 32, CeeDee Lamb is 35.
Yeah, I like Lamb. He's coming up.
Really?
Yeah.
Heinzman?
See, I like Lamb as well. Wait, I'm sorry. Who did you say? You said Cooper and Lamb?
Cooper and Lamb, the 2 Dallas receivers, yes.
I personally like CeeDee Lamb a little bit more. I feel like he'll get more targets because he's a better route runner. I mean, and he's also his catch radius, and I don't know. I think he's gonna build a better relationship with Dak. But for me personally, since I have Zeke, I don't want to pick either of them up.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too heavy on a certain team.
Well, I got to say one thing, that I'm much higher on Amari Cooper given his ADP. I think he is worth this 3rd round pick, whereas CeeDee Lamb might not turn into a 3rd round pick. He might be a little more of a 4th or 5th round value. I like Amari Cooper. I got to take him right now. That's just my personal preference. Sometimes you got to go with your gut. I might be wrong on this, but as far as I'm concerned, he's still the starting receiver in Dallas. And when Dak comes back next year, let's just see what happens when Dak's there. Come on, man. We know how this game plays. Next up for us is going to be Heinzman. Heinzman, what you looking at?
Honestly, because the running backs aren't too deep, I have 2 running backs right now. I have Zeke, and Chris Carson, and I have DeAndre Hopkins as my wide receiver. Honestly, who I'm eyeing right now is Josh Jacobs. I think I'm surprised that he's still in here at the 4th round. I think he's going to be heavily used in the Raiders offense with that great offensive line they have. He might be a red zone threat, get in the end zone a lot. So I think I'm actually going to go with, oh man, this is tough though. Robert Woods is also a good option too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I honestly I want to beef up on some running backs
20
because last year
seconds.
that was my weakness was my running backs because they get injured a lot more. So I want to have that running back depth. So I'm gonna take Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, nice.
Okay.
McLaurin went.
Now, just a quick comment on Josh Jacobs. I just have some concerns about him because of his pairing with Kenyon Drake, who's going to get the targets there. Josh Jacobs, they said they would get him more targets in the game for passing offense, get him some PPR points. Unfortunately, it didn't really come to fruition as much last season. It did a little bit, not too much. He was very hot and cold, so I'm kind of worried with Drake in there. Who's going to be, getting receptions? Who's going to be getting end zone carries? Who's going to be stealing from who?
Yeah, I feel that.
Snow
But
Ninja on the
still,
clock.
when you look at the running backs we have left, I understand you start to get nervous.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Joe, who you looking at?
Oh gosh. Man, I'm gonna go with that Lamb pick. I like it.
Okay.
Hey, that's a steal, honestly. Late 4th round,
And that's what I was saying. If this was 4th round, I probably could have taken CD Lamb instead of, if Amari Cooper was already gone.
Exactly.
I like that. And Joe, you're going to be coming back around again, so you want to take a look at who's coming up on the board and kind of let us know your
Can you
thoughts?
let us know who you got? Who do you have?
I got Henry, Dobbins, Jefferson, and Lamb. So 2-2, and I'm thinking quarterback.
Oh, Jolin. Who would be your quarterback, though, man?
Well, I think that's good because that's usually my recipe. Like, is that?
But you got to. So real quick, I just got to say, man.
Thing that
I feel the value of a quarterback it doesn't change that much between like your 5th, 8th, 12th.
Yeah.
The later you wait for a running, because you got to look at these receivers and running backs that you could fill in, because for those positions where you only need one person, like one tight end, one quarterback, you could always stream those guys and rotate them.
And you're right. There's still this is my thing. I wanted a quarterback. There's still a lot of good quarterbacks out there, so I'm gonna build my depth. That's just my thing.
Yes.
So I'm gonna pick a running back.
Get that flex in there.
Ooh.
And another thing too to take in consideration is that you just had 2 back-to-back picks, so you're not going to get another pick until late 6th round. So you want to look at the players a little bit down than just the top 7.
I'm going with Chase Edmonds.
You ain't going to get. That's a solid pick.
And I love that opinion. I agree with that completely, Heinzman, is because he's right. Because you're going to have this is your long stretch till your pick again. You might regret taking that quarterback when you see all those receivers and running backs go off the board and you realize that you don't have the depth. I liked Myles Gaskin in that pick, but I love Chase Edmonds this year. He has James Conner as a backup. He's injury prone. Chase Edmonds is going to be getting a lot of the work. I think people are kind of low on him right now, when he has great potential to be a very good starting.
Okay.
All right, what you got, Heinzman?
Ooh, Heinzman on the clock. Cooper
Kupp, man. I think with Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp is going to be a problem this year.
Really? Oh.
I think so, man. I really do, because Cooper Kupp's route running is insane.
It is.
Matthew Stafford's ball placement is amazing.
Yes, it is.
And Kupp can catch, bro. Kupp can hit those. He can catch those difficult passes. So I like Kupp as a sleeper.
Real quick, I was watching some highlights with Jared Goff and Cooper Kupp, and there were some missed passes between those two.
Exactly, man.
And I know Matthew Stafford is very accurate and he could ball out, and that's just crazy to think about, especially in my division. Go ahead, Dougie.
No, I love that take, man. The fact that you're actually watching film. This is our film guy. Yes, I agree. I think Matthew Stafford is really going to pump up the Rams offense. I like both Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. And again, if you don't know who's actually going to be the better guy and you're taking somebody in a lower round, the value you get out of them if they do turn out to be the guy, you can't take that back. Alrighty. So like I said earlier, I like Myles Gaskin. He's right here at the top. I have 2 running backs with Eckler and Taylor. I have 2 good receivers with Brown and Cooper. I need to take another running back. I'm going Gaskin.
Hell yeah.
The Gas Man, I believe that he will still be the starter in Miami. I don't think anyone else is going to take it away from him. Not Ahmed or you know what? Who's the other guy? Breeda's there now.
Breida's in Buffalo.
They have. Is he in Buffalo now?
Yeah,
They
he's in
had him,
Buffalo.
you know, at the end of last. I don't even know who they have. They didn't draft a running back, and because of that, Gaskin reaps the benefits because of it.
He's gonna go.
All right, I'm coming back around the corner on round 5, and so at this point, this is where you kind of got to look at. These are your guys that are your kind of your sleepers. Your first 4 or 5 picks, especially your first 2 picks, are your main guys. You want to start them week to week. These are the guys where you're going to be looking for someone that is going to be performing better than where you drafted them at. And looking at who was just drafted,
It's like Mark Andrews off the board and Kyler off the board.
I was looking at Mark Andrews, not lying. Usually, yeah, round 6 is where I like Mark Andrews. But I can stream and move around. I got to take on that later for tight ends. Right now, I'll take just best player I could see. And, it's actually not that easy. And it might be a little surprising who I'm about to take. But I think that T. Higgins is going to be the guy in Cincinnati. I don't like this narrative this year with Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle coming into the league with their quarterbacks from college and people thinking that they're automatically going to be the number 1 receivers. T. Higgins was easily the best receiver in Cincinnati last year, even with Tyler Boyd doing so well. By the end of the year, T. Higgins was clearly the better receiver. Give him another year with Joe Burrow. Let's see how this turns out. The guy's on the outside. Tyler Boyd's on the inside in the slot. Jamar Chase is a rookie.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Heinzman. It's your pick.
So I don't have another pick for a while. And I want to get my starters out the way, and I really like Kyle Pitts.
That's a steal. Holy cow.
I'm taking my so right now I have my running back filled, my wide receiver filled, my tight end, and my flexes filled. So I don't have anything on my depth yet, but I like my starters and I like the options that I got going down.
Right. I could agree with that. I like the, again, rookie, it's a kind of a gamble, but I like the idea of at least making sure you have a strong tight end. At this point, I am getting a little worried.
He could be also a good trade asset for me. So he doesn't have. I'm not saying that he's going to stay on my roster forever, but he can be a good trade asset if he has a good week 1 or something. If I decide for some reason to trade him, if I find something better.
All right. If you get a second tight end down the road that you might be keen
to. Exactly.
Now I get a pick real soon. Snow Ninja back on the clock.
You're on the clock right now.
Snow Ninja back on the clock. You get a pick real soon here in a few 4 or 5 picks.
You're on the clock right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm on the clock.
You get back to back. He's talking about his back to back.
Yeah, I'm talking about back to back. Yeah. So I'm gonna pick a quarterback and then probably a wide receiver, and I'm gonna go with Justin Herbert.
Hey, that's MVP low key.
He's
okay.
Gonna ball out.
So yeah, we've noticed now that some quarterbacks. We already know that Patrick Mahomes went off the board earlier. Kyler Murray went off the board at the beginning of this round, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And now Justin Herbert's off the road. So when you're looking for these quarterbacks that you're taking, I mean, you're looking for straight guys, right? You no doubt about them. They're going to be your starter week in and week out.
I was going to take Brandon Ayuk just because I don't have a Niner yet, and I know he's going to go off this year. Same with Debo. Did someone take – yeah, oh, no, Debo Samuel.
Someone took Dak Prescott. Someone took freaking Kyler. Okay, so there's the good quarterbacks off the board right now. So now is a good time to start eyeing your quarterbacks. Since there's already some coming off the board, at least take a good option that you can.
And just keep an eye on your main on the all positions as well. Jolin, you're on there.
Yeah. See, I like these receivers, and there's Gallup, Samuel, and Boyd still there. God, I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna go with Samuel on this one. See, I think Gallup's still good too.
See, I love Debo Samuel.
He's a yak, bro. That's why yards after the catch. Oh man.
He will be competing with Ayuk. Well, and the thing with Gallup and, like I said, with Boyd is you got to take consideration who might be a third or string receiver when it comes down to it.
Gallup is good though, but I think Lamb is just better.
So as of right now, I want to get somebody, some more depth. I got two wide receivers. 3 running backs. Ah, man. I really want to stack up on running backs but I also think Odell's going to bounce back this year.
Mm.
Odell's still available. I'm going to go with Odell.
All right, I think that's a good pick. Again, when you get down to these, parts of the draft, what you're looking for is your starting quarterback and guys that could be their starters. So I'm on the clock. I got my back-to-backs coming around here in these 4 picks. So I'm looking for someone that has full potential to be a starter where they're going to be. I'm not looking for a muddied backfield or a muddied receiving core. I'm going with Robbie Anderson on this pick. I pick him a lot, pretty much 5 years in a row now. He's a great player. He had what I would say kind of a breakout year last year. The targets are phenomenal that he gets, and if he could keep up with Sam Darnold, who was his quarterback in New York, let's hope that Robbie Anderson finally has the breakout year we've been hoping for. And the value I could get out of him in the 7th round, if he turns out to be the wide receiver 1 there in Carolina, that's the kind of pick you're looking for. Along with that, again, I see another guy on here that could be the number 1. And he will fit nicely on my bench. Mike Davis, dude, in Atlanta.
How is it staring at him?
Clearly going to be the number 1 back in Atlanta.
Damn it, and I was just going to pick up motherfucking Russell Wilson, too.
And just like I said with, I'm sorry, who was the last running back I made this example of? Gaskin. They didn't make any moves in the draft to get a running back. So when it comes to Mike Davis, Atlanta didn't make any moves. They're clearly just going to stick with him, the veteran. It's awesome.
All right, I'm looking at. So I got 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. I like James Robinson. I think he's going to be a sleeper. Let me go ahead and get James Robinson off the board.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's a guy that clearly proved himself last year. He was a top 5 running back, PPR. He could do it. We just have to give him a chance, but he might not get that chance. He might. So getting him in the 8th round, it's actually kind of a value.
Snow Ninja on the clock.
Raheem Mostert taken off the board.
Yeah, I was about to take him because he's gonna be taking most of the reps, but
he is definitely going to be their starter.
I'm gonna swing this one. I like Tanyan. He's a beast.
Robert Tanyan, Dallas Goedert off the board. Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks.
So we're starting to see some of those tight ends go off the board now. Joe's back on the clock.
This one's tough, but let me see. Okay. See, I like Gordon. I also like Drake. I don't know how Harris is gonna do with all those running backs in New England. So, and Buffalo doesn't really have much of a run.
These are all great points he's making too.
You know what? I'm gonna take Drake.
That's a good pick. Again, you're looking for a guy that has potential to be a starter.
Yep. I think that was a good pick.
Yep, he's been started before, several teams, but I like Drake.
So I don't have a quarterback yet. We're into the ninth round. I want to be able to get somebody that's going to be able to put up numbers. I like stacking up. So there's a pros and cons to what I'm looking at right now. I like to stack up my quarterback with another person I have on the roster because if you get a quarterback and a running back on the same team, anytime they score is almost guaranteed that you get a touchdown. Yeah. Or even if it's a quarterback wide receiver, you get 2 touchdowns if they score 1 touchdown. So Dak's gone. What's his name is gone. Russell Wilson. Kyler's gone, so I'm gonna go Matthew Stafford. I think he has the potential to be the MVP. They're gonna be in a pass-heavy offense.
All right,
Matthew Stafford's that guy.
So much.
All right, guys, I'm looking at a quarterback.
Rodgers, MVP is still on the board.
I got Rodgers and Tom Brady, but guys, I got to say, even though Rodgers was the reigning MVP, Tom Brady. Let's just notify that he had a rough season starting out with Bruce Arians, came around at the end of his schedule, and finished strong. This guy is going to have a better second year than he did his first year. And
he won the Super Bowl his first year.
And the Buccaneers have the easiest schedule next year.
Oh, boy.
That's a solid point.
Boom, right there, Tom Brady. That is points on the board. Now, sometimes what I like to do when I take
Devontae Smith, 10th round. Okay.
What I like to do when I take a quarterback late, and I like to look at who might be available around him that might I might take a wide receiver, I might take a running back, or I could just take Aaron Rodgers because boom, now I got two awesome quarterbacks, and who fucking knows what I might do with them.
Hey,
That's the joy
that's
of
good.
stacking up on your receivers and running backs early and making sure you have good
Okay.
starters. And
So I
now
want to
I
get
got
another.
two beast quarterbacks. Heisman,
Yeah, I
please
like
go
it.
ahead.
So I'm looking at a wide receiver right now because I only have three. I like Jalen Waddle in Miami. However, I don't know how the quarterback situation is going to play out. I think Henry Ruggs has a better opportunity to become a wide receiver one in Las Vegas. So I am actually going to go ahead and go with Henry Ruggs.
Now, by the way, I only make this point about taking two quarterbacks because looking at the receivers and running backs left on the list, I'm not too high on any of them at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows what might happen down the road. All I know is that I like both Rodgers and Brady in fantasy. If I take one of them and they both work out, I could possibly trade one of them like you did, Heinzman, last year for a top end receiver or running back. So therefore, the value I'm getting out of them at this point could be better than one of these guys I'm looking at on the board right now, like Jalen Waddle, Corey Davis, Jalen Rager, Cole Beasley.
Because what happened with me last year is I'm sorry, I'll let John get his pick in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little tough. I want to go with a Tampa Bay running back, but I know they're going to split. I think Fournette's going to take it the most, but Jones is pretty stout as well. But,
I agree.
I'm going with Melvin Gordon, man. He's up there.
Ooh, I did that earlier in my mock because I said to myself, Melvin Gordon's still the starting running back.
Yeah.
He's still the starting running back in Denver, so why is he so low?
Yeah.
Joe, you're back on.
I'm back on, and I'm ready to pick my backup quarterback, and because who could cover for Herbie? Let's go Trey Lance. I'm just kidding.
True.
Man, this since this is a mock draft, I'm just gonna swing it, and I want to. Oh no, I don't know. Because I'm trying to make a good example, but I'm just gonna shoot for this one. This is just for fun. I'm gonna go with Trevor Lawrence.
Hey,
alrighty,
because he needs weapons, obviously, but we'll see.
So I'll become. Oh no, Heinzman, you'll be coming back up on the clock. So you want to tell your story?
My story?
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to talk about, to be honest.
So I took Gordon.
Okay, so
talk about your Rodgers trade.
Oh yeah. So the reason why it worked out so well for me is because the person that I trade with had Dak Prescott when he broke his ankle, and he had no depth at quarterback. My wide receiver, I forgot who I had, but they got injured too, so I was shorter a wide receiver. I had Rodgers just sitting on my bench, and I needed a wide receiver, so I traded him for Adam Thielen. It worked out for me all the way up until the playoff.
Yes, and then you got burned by Aaron Rodgers.
I got burned by Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs after I traded
Wow,
him.
you took the Buccaneers defense, though. I see you keyed in on when I said that they have the easiest schedule this year.
They have the easiest schedule, and I'm not too sold on the players that are remaining left, and I would like to get my starting positions the best possible score. Last year, I picked up Travis Kelce, and I didn't move him from my tight end spot. Not having to worry about that one position is going to help out a lot. They got the easiest schedule, one of the top defenses. It's a no-brainer for me.
I like that.
Alrighty, so I think I'm going to go with a.
This is fun.
Tight end real quick. I'm just filling in tight end just to see what might happen. At this point, it's kind of like throwing darts at a dartboard. I'm not too high on Jonnu Smith, but who knows? It might work out. He was a great guy in Tennessee. He put in work. He got touchdowns. Looking at it, I'm coming back up again right now on the clock. Looking at all positions, man. I'm just Ronald Jones. He's right here. I'm going to have to take a chance on him, see if he turns into the guy. He has the chance to be a starting running back.
Ooh.
I did just notice Jalen Hurts is still on the board in round 12.
Yeah.
And honestly,
you know who else has a really solid opportunity to become a starter?
Who?
AJ Dillon.
Yes, I am loving AJ Dillon.
Was that Packers Packers, right?
Yes.
Packers backup.
'cause
Since
Aaron
Jamal
Jones-
Williams is gone and Aaron Jones gets hurt,
Not producing his
AJ Dillon's thrown in
AJ
there.
Dillon.
And he was in the 12th round. That's a crazy
That
sleeper.
is a great. Snow Ninja on the clock. I like these, but man, I just like Frank Wright, Carson Wentz together. I have to go with Pittman. I like that one.
Oh, not in T.Y. Hilton?
No, he's getting
No. Oh, alrighty. Looking at it again, you're on the clock.
Got it. Ooh, this is tough.
So so now at this point, we're looking for guys that have hope. Where if somebody goes down, they might get the starting role. We're not looking for those guys that have the chance to be starters. These are the guys that need hope. They need a miracle almost. I like Michael Carter in New York. I like Trey Sermon in San Francisco. You got J.D. McKissick.
Good. Those are good.
All you need is one guy to get hurt, and then they're in the starting role. You got a starting flex.
I'm gonna go with this one.
Washington defense. That's a good pick.
I think they're gonna have a lot of turnovers.
Okay.
Yeah, their defensive line is pretty insane.
Now, kind of see for me during this time. Now I'm going for my flex. I think. What do you guys think? Is this pretty much a good depth time? I know we've been building it now.
So for me personally, I don't like to draft defense and kickers until the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I always like to fill up, unless again you get like the Buccaneers. Sometimes you just want to get them a little bit earlier. Right now, I'm in round 13, so defense is still a little too early for me.
For me, so I have 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers on the bench right now. So I got pretty solid depth between my running backs, my wide receivers, and everything. I only have 1 quarterback for in the event Matthew Stafford does not work out. I want to still be able to get a solid backup option.
Yep.
There you go.
So, man, honestly, Dougie's not gonna like it, but the Browns are the Browns. Baker Mayfield on the come up. We'll go ahead and pick up Baker.
I actually like that pick.
I liked Matt Ryan a little bit more there. You also, excuse me.
Oh yeah,
you could have taken a chance on Deshaun Watson and just seen if it plays out there.
Nah, he's a free agent pickup. I would have picked up Justin Fields beforehand.
Well, I'm going to go with my little theory about taking someone that might get a role if someone goes down. Just looking at it though, it's hard to go. Do I go with a running back or receiver this late? And a lot of good running backs right now, a lot of good receivers. I got to take somebody that I think has the possibility to eventually get a starting job and have a breakout.
A San Francisco running back, Trey Sermon.
Raheem Mostert doesn't come back healthy or he goes down again, then Trey Sermon is going to be the guy, knowing that Shanahan's tendencies to use running backs and the way they always break out like that. It's kind of hard to pass on it.
That's true.
Looking at it now, receivers, I'm going to probably take Devontae Parker here just because he's still technically the number 1 receiver in Miami. So
this guy last year, his route running was insane. He just didn't have a quarterback. I think if the Bears play their cards right and they let Justin Fields start, Darnell Mooney is going to have a hell of a year.
Ooh, I was eyeing him too.
Or Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, I was gonna go for Mooney as well.
And the only reason why I went with Parker instead of Mooney is because, go ahead, Joe, you're on the clock, but because Parker is, like I said, clear number 1 receiver. Mooney, he's behind Robinson. Robinson's the clear guy there, so it's kind of hard to go with that. But go ahead, Joe, you're on the clock.
Did someone take Kendrick Bourne?
Or is he just so far down you don't see him?
I just don't see him.
You can search him. Search in there's a search bar.
15 seconds.
I just don't know between Aguilar or Bourne for the New England. But this one's a little tough actually. But I'm gonna go with I like Lazard.
Oh, that's a good pickup, especially now that Rodgers is back too. That's a very good pickup.
And again, who knows?
Just in fact, if Devontae Adams misses a week or something like that.
Yep, and then you got the other competition is MVS. It's a good pick to get. That's why you go for these late rounds. Supposed to explain your
Oh yeah.
first few rounds are your main guys. They're going to start week to week. Your middle round guys are the guys that have potential, and your late round guys are your like true sleepers where you just hope. You just hope something
God,
happens.
this running back.
So, yeah, I like the running. Oh man, I like the running backs a lot.
You know what?
I like that. I was honestly
Okay.
eyeing him. I was
Yep,
about to ask
because Dalvin Cook
Dalvin
might
Cook
get
goes
hurt,
down.
right?
Yep. So he got Alexander Madison. Great pick, Joe.
I was
Again,
eyeing
that's what we're looking
Alexander
for.
Madison, and I think who I'm about to get right now is the backup for Zeke, Tony Pollard. So it's
Yep.
kind of a win-win for me. So if Ezekiel only gets behind, I still have a running back
Perfect.
one that I got in the 15th round.
Yes, perfect example for these late rounds. When you go into, not sure who you want to take, you're looking at a bunch of backups. Yeah, try to handcuff people. Look for receivers that are lower on the depth chart. Look for a running back that you can handcuff, like AJ Dillon to Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard to Ezekiel Elliott. These are the kind of guys that they might get their opportunity, and you don't want to miss out on those points. Me, I'm up on the clock. I'm going defense before kicker. And looking at the defenses, there's one clear defense. I don't even know why they're still on there, but the Rams defense.
Oh wow, the Broncos
That's
defense was
crazy.
picked up. That's crazy. See, that's a good solid pickup still on the defense. I think that defense will go crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They just had a great year. They still have the reigning defensive MVP, defensive player of the year, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the fact that the Rams were still there. I think that's a solid pick, given that I didn't get the Steelers or the Buccaneers, but I still feel good about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, looking at the kickers, I'm a big fan of this guy. The Asian sensation
Oh my God, I was gonna
representing his
take him.
nation,
Damn it.
Young Wei Koo, the young slut Koo. Yeah, the guy was a phenomenal kicker last year, and I think the Falcons will be much of the same on offense. They're going to be a little bit mediocre, settling for field goals a lot of the time. The guy clearly has a leg. He could hit 40, 50, close to 60-yard field goals. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having Koo.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get. There's none kickers that I'm really crazy about, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get the Rams because I feel like the Rams will be a high scoring team. So they'll be kicking a lot of field goals, extra points, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. My kicker. Yeah. Last but not least. Niners, man. Going back to the 2019 season. We had a lot of wins with our field goal kicker, and that's Robbie Gould. It's always Gould is good. And it always comes down to the wire especially when we're good and especially against teams like the Rams and everything. But we end up winning those games through a field goal, and I'm just gonna go with Robbie Gould.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it doesn't hurt when you get down to it. If you want to choose your favorite team's kicker, it doesn't hurt. If you would just need to have one person from your team. I don't have any Steelers on my team, I don't believe. So
Yeah, I don't have any Chargers either.
I have a Charger. So good draft, guys. Let's just review our teams real quick. Joe, you want to go first since you drafted first?
Throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, just review like which from your first pick to your last pick.
Let me see. I didn't even number them, but I can't for some reason see the picks, but I'll just go off with my players since you guys have the app on. I'll start with quarterback. I did Justin Herbert. And then my first pick, and then I went with Henry and Jefferson. And then I took Dobbins and Lamb, which were pretty good picks, I think. And I went with Chase Edmonds, I think, and then Deebo Samuel, yep. Then I went with Tonyan. I built some depth with Drake. I got Melvin Gordon in there. I went with my backup quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. I took the Washington defense. I got Alexander Madison, Lazard, and then Gold.
All right, Hansman.
I think it's pretty stout.
All right, so first round I got Zeke. Second round I went with D-Hop. Third round Chris Carson. Fourth round I went Josh Jacobs. So I went 3 running backs, 1 wide receiver in the first 4 rounds. And then I went Cooper Kupp. Then I went Kyle Pitts. I went Odell Beckham, James Robinson. Then after that, I went Matthew Stafford, Henry Ruggs, Buccaneers defense, A.J. Dillon. Last 4, I got Baker Mayfield, Darnell Mooney, Tony Pollard, and then my kicker, Matt Gay, for the Rams.
Nah, that was.
Alrighty, good solid lineup there too. And looking at mine, I went first 2 picks, running backs, Eckler and Jonathan Taylor. Then I went 2 receivers, A.J. Brown and Amari Cooper. And then I filled out the next 4 rounds with some backups as well. Got Gaskins, Higgins, Robbie Anderson, and Mike Davis. So that gives me some solid backups at those 2 positions. Then I went ahead and grabbed my 2 quarterbacks. Like I said, a little strategy of mine. If you're not sure on 2 guys, it doesn't hurt if you could take them back to back if you can. So I got Brady and Rodgers, and then just filled in the rest with just what I could get and who would stick. I got Jonnu Smith at tight end. I got Ronald Jones. I got Trey Sermon. I got Devontae Parker, and then rounded it out with Rams defense and Younghoe Koo. And just one thing that's on my mind, looking at the tight end position, I did have a little sleeper for tight end I wanted to throw out there for Anthony Fursker in Tennessee. I feel like with Jonnu Smith gone, even though Julio Jones and A.J. Brown are there, Fursker might be a great sleeper because he had touchdowns. He had multiple touchdown games last year in Tennessee. He's going to be their starter. He has the potential to be a real sleeper and a breakout this year. He might be a guy to eye on at the end of those late rounds. I probably should have taken him instead of Devontae Parker, but, it is what it is. He's still on the wire, so I'd pick him up if I could.
Yeah, that was my first mock draft of this year, and I think I kind of got it. Like going on
you
to
did good.
Like, we're
I think we all drafted pretty solid.
Away. Yeah, we're a month out from our actual draft. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty exciting. I can't wait. I'm really excited. But it's gonna look so different. And I know you guys mock all the time, but man, like comparing it to the actual draft, it's like so much focus and pressure, and then just the whole depth. I mean, me just actually like kind of new to this and actually like learning like to be kind of like a veteran like you guys in the whole fantasy gig. Like I'm really starting to see how important building depth is, because I know it's football and people go out, and I think to me I always focus, especially with the Niners. Yeah, it's almost like comparing it to your actual team. I mean, if you actually, for the 53-man roster, if you actually build depth, you will still have a good team, because people do go out, injuries do happen, and I kind of compare that to the fantasy gig, and just like if you have a stout backup or just and with the sleepers, I know you guys say like you just never know, but if you like put your trust in that guy and actually like draft them, or say a steal trade, which may happen during our actual league, that's just going to be something crazy to talk about and think about, because hopefully, which these things will happen too, and it's just so exciting to see. I never really like was big into the whole trading thing, like mid-season, but these things happen, and it's almost like for me, it's like you got to be careful. Like, is that like really worth it? You really got to think about it. That's why for me, like, let's tell our audience, like, how is it to be fair for people to kind of think about trades happening mid-season when this time actually comes? Anyone want to start on that? Because it's kind of
I guess we could just,
it's kind of iffy.
We could comment. That was a really weird segue, Joe. Just got to say.
Yeah, but
I didn't know we were going to go into that. I'd say I've never personally do trades, just because I'm one of those guys that I always like my draft picks and I don't want to give away someone. But again, like you said, like people, you have to learn to be fair. You have to look at someone like what Heinzman said with his situation. He saw someone that needed a quarterback. He needed a receiver. They got the deal done. Yeah. You can't just go you're going to look like a dick in your fantasy league if you're going around offering people, your entire bench for Christian McCaffrey. And happens. Usually if you're ever offered 3 or 4 players for one player, it's not worth it, because that means you're also going to have to drop players off your current roster to fill in. Mm-hmm. You always want that one guy that could just fill in one spot and be great, compared to 3 guys that are mediocre that are going to fill in 3 spots. You always want that one guy that's going to hit. So always be cautious with trades. Try to make a fair trade. Look for what the other person needs and what you need. And if you can't find a trade there, don't be discouraged. You'll figure it out. You always do. When Sunday morning comes around or Thursday night, whenever your deadline is, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Just going back to last season, I think Heinzman and I had a trade. It was Michael Thomas over, I think
Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans. Was it someone else too? If I can't remember, or was it just those?
There were a lot of trades.
I know.
Yeah. I remember we did Michael Thomas. I think it was just a straight up trade.
Yeah, and
Mike Thomas for Mike Evans.
I think I won that trade actually. I think you.
Oh yeah, because Mike Thomas got injured. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I feel like there's a couple running backs in there too.
I feel like that was a fair trade to me though. But like Michael.
No, it looked good when it happened. It was a good trade, and then just injuries didn't fall my way, so that's why I took the loss in that trade.
It's something to look for, especially people that are new to, fantasy. But that's great. It's just, like definitely mid-season. I'm just like you, Dougie. I really don't trade. I think that was actually my only trade that happened, and like ever, I think, because the press.
Yeah, you really don't trade. Yeah.
No, I don't. But
I like to trade just to keep it interesting. But lately, these last couple of years, trades have been fucking me over.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be a lot more stingy this year. Because especially now that I have a really strong draft strategy, I feel confident in my team that I'm going to be drafting.
Absolutely.
Of course, injuries are going to happen. You can't predict those. So that's when you're going to have to make some of those trades, make some of those sacrifices. It's all about the risk that you're willing to take to, you win big, you lose big, like just risk and just manage your team properly. Check the waiver wires if you don't want to trade, there's definitely other options rather than just trading. And you definitely want to be cautious with who you're trading with too, because you sometimes know that there's some people that are just trading just to hustle and bustle. Like that one dude we had in the league last year where he was only trading to one person. So, it wasn't really feeling fair. Don't be that guy either. Don't only trade with one person. Be fair with everybody. Be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be the scrub at the bottom of the league that trades away Dalvin Cook to your friend because you admit that you're just going to lose anyways. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy, especially. But no, it's – and I bring it up. I know it's a weird segue, but like I bring it up because I think it's very vital mid-season. And I know we're going to cover it more, especially, like week 7, 8, especially during like a real like trade deadline. But our trade deadline's like way later. But just going back to what I said, like it's very important because like say you're offering players, it's really something to think about. Say if someone offers you players and you're like, ooh, that's nice. It's something really to think about.
Tempting. It gets very tempting.
It's like it's so tempting, and that's why I bring it up. And it's like, ooh, like if I do make this trade, and they actually do good and win the trade and actually end up going, to the finals or whatever, like the Super Bowl.
You're gonna look like a fool.
Yeah, you do, and that's why I think it's very key, vital to. It's just something to. It makes you think. That's why, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. But
okay.
Yeah.
Usually we wait till the season actually starts till we talk about trades, but.
Yeah, no, but it's just something that since we're already talking about fantasy, but it's something definitely to think about. But we're definitely gonna cover it more mid-season, as Dougie said.
Yeah, my thought, just adding to the end of this draft too, is usually leave a couple spots on your bench just to rotate people and shake it up. Fill in with guys that you want that could be starters, have potential. But like I said, those last couple spots, you might end up dropping somebody to pick up like a James Robinson, like I did last year. I dropped Phillips Lindsay to get James Robinson, and clearly right from there, right there, I dropped a mid-round running back that I wasn't going to use, who didn't do anything, and I immediately paid off by getting a top 5 running back. So yeah, watch the waiver wire too when it comes around. Pay attention to the news, man. Get those notifications up on your apps for the NFL Network, ESPN. Go on Twitter,
Center, Bleacher Report, all the above.
Yeah. Go on Twitter too, and follow all the insiders, Tom Pelissero and Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. Follow those kind of guys. They'll get you the news right away, and they'll be the first to know, so they'll get it out as soon as it happens. Stay on top of the game, man, because those are the people that really win. Those are the ones that really win, are the guys that stay on top of it.
Absolutely. Covering
one more thing, too. One more piece of advice. For defenses and kickers, you don't usually want to draft a backup for those because those are constantly changing, especially like so say if you see, honestly, you just really want to pick up your defenses that are really going against the bad offense. where you
Yeah.
know that the defense will like
Oh,
the Jets, for example. You know, if the shitty defense is playing the Jets, they'll still most likely have a really good game for you. So it's a safe bet to go that route. Same thing with the kickers. You know, if the kickers or if that offense is playing a shitty defense, then you might want to pick up that kicker and start them so that because you know that offense is going to score points.
yeah, real quick. This is called streaming in the fantasy world. So when you're streaming, you just fill in week to week. Who cares? And you usually do
Mhm.
this with your single positions like kicker, defense, tight end, quarterback. And like I said, this is why it's okay to pass on a quarterback to fill in your depth on running backs and receivers. It's okay to
Yeah.
pass on tight ends. And you'll find somebody. You will. You stream these quarterbacks. There are plenty of good quarterbacks. There are 32 starting NFL quarterbacks. And let's say even if 12 of them suck on the back third of it, you still got 20 that are valuable, and only 10 of them need to start every week if you're in 10-team league. So
Mhm.
go ahead, and if you pass on Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, and you don't like using Daniel Jones or Ben Roethlisberger, you know, just take who you can for now and just wait and see who plays out. Kirk Cousins, those kind
Exactly.
of
Yep.
guys, Ryan Fitzpatrick, stream those guys. They will get you points when you need them. Pay attention to matchups. Yeah, same with tight end, man. If you don't get that awesome tight end, it's okay. That's kind of the hardest position to stream, but you will
Yeah.
figure it out.
Unless you got
We'll
Travis
help you.
Kelce.
We'll help you. You tune into the show. We'll let you know
Follow
every
on
week
Twitter.
on who to look for. Yes, follow on Twitter at at TripleFP show. We will get you set for every week. Don't you worry.
Absolutely, and we're on YouTube now, and it's kind of coming along, and it's gonna get more consistent. So it's come a long way for sure. But yeah, going back to fantasy, it's tough when you like for me, for example, like I would say when you do drop and add players, say one player is not producing as much, I tend to get kind of, oh, this person's not working out. Let's drop him and let's add someone in, the free agent market, and then like I would pick that player up, and sometimes the player that you dropped ends up going good, like really good, and then I think just going like touching a little bit on that, I think you got to really think about the schedule and who they play against. I know you guys talked about that and covered it a little bit, but especially I think the schedule is very important and who they play and what kind of like key matchups, which we talk about a lot. I think that's very important for fantasy. It's something that helped me along. Just looking at the schedule and the depth and everything like that, and what offense will do good against what defense, kind of like that. And yeah, just touching a little bit on that. Don't do what I do and like try to pick up a player that you think will do because they did good the previous week doesn't mean they'll do good
Yeah.
again.
Well, for example, it's like Chase Claypool last year had that 4 touchdown game where he went off, and it made him finish much higher than what his actual position should have been because one game he was able to score so much, which brought his average up. Look for those guys that are consistent. Just because somebody booms one week doesn't mean they're not going to bust the next week. And don't drop somebody just because they had a couple down weeks. David Montgomery, for example, was a starting running back in Chicago, went all season looking like a bum, but he finished like a top 5 running back if you just count weeks, 12 through 17.
Yeah.
So there are guys out there that will get it done. You just have to just have patience and some faith and hold out hope.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, that was fun. I don't know if we could actually do our actual draft live like this, but
Oh, I plan on it.
Oh, you do? You think we can?
I really want to.
I know we were like in focus mode and kind of like research mode when we do, especially.
I'm for $100 league. I'm having a little draft party here because I got a couple friends that are in Arizona that are in that league. So I'll do something here, jump up on the live too, so we can,
Yeah.
2021 draft party.
What do you think? Are we doing definitely, I think one of them we should do live. I think our straight clowning fantasy we definitely should do live.
I'm down for
Oh
that.
yeah, our reoccurring one we will. That's the one I want to do. Is one it's the one that's the OG. It's the one that we do every year. So
yeah,
it's SCIS days. So
yeah, this is real exciting. And man, again, going back to like with training camp starting, and then the preseason's legit. Like that's next week, right? Thursday.
Yeah, guys, it's coming up fast.
That's
More episodes will be
crazy.
coming out.
Steelers are gonna play too. Oh man, that's awesome. They're
This
starting
is exciting.
off. I'm just
Guys, it's
I'm
coming
worried
so
about
soon.
yeah.
It's going to be here before you know it.
Football's
So work
here.
on your mocks, work on your draft strategy. We'll do some more shows down the road that will give a little more, in depth on the draft strategy. We'll do one where we're not as distracted by the draft itself. I'll write down some notes and some tips and points, and we'll do another show here in a couple weeks. And
I think
sure we
Dylan
get
got one
them
more
to you.
announcement though.
Oh no,
I know.
No, just touching on fantasy. What a little bit more that I want to mention is injuries do happen. Going back to what I said, and just touching on that strategy. Say a wide receiver or a running back gets hurt. I want the audience to know and to listen to us on what we should do in that kind of situation. And I know we could touch on it more, but do you guys have anything to say? Say a key player that you drive, maybe the first, second, third round that goes out. What do they do now?
Well, I mean, first of all, you should be handcuffing guys like,
After
To injured reserve, which
Heisman did that earlier with Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. So, that's one option if you want to be safe right from the start. If not, if somebody goes down and you don't have the running back you need right away off the bench, you're going to have to stream. You're going to have to look at the wire. You're going to have to look at matchups. But, it doesn't
utilize
hurt to
all
have
your
a
options.
backup.
Look at all your options.
absolutely. Now, like going back to that, like for the players that do get hurt, like it's something that I didn't do last year, which kind of messed with me a little bit because like I said, I'm still a little bit new to fantasy, but at the same time, like I've been playing. But yeah, injured reserve. It's only one player, correct, or two?
Yes.
I mean,
if you have an injured
every
reserve
league
in
manager
your
can do it
league,
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
right now we have one available.
One.
So
Okay.
that's just
For our.
how we play.
Okay. Yeah. For the people that. Oh, so that's an option whether to have or not, right? For fantasy players.
Yes, we do it on ours because I think it's unfair to have to drop somebody for roster space when you should be able to just
As
move
an
one
IR,
player.
yeah.
So
Like a Christian McCaffrey or a Joe Mixon when they're out for several weeks, but it's not the kind of talent you could just drop.
Yeah. So that's very key vital and see that's something that I did not do last year and something that I will practice, especially a person that either is out for the season or is maybe coming back towards the end of the season, which will happen. So that's something that I'm going to exercise on my part, and I think new fantasy people that are playing should also look into that and see what kind of matchups they could do with that. But yeah, that was so fun. My last announcement, and this is something I thought about, and we're given a chance to giving our audience a chance to enter to win a free jersey for from at Heinzman Jerseys, and I think I'm gonna give away 2 jerseys. That's right, 2 jerseys.
What?
So
What?
there's gonna be a first and a second winner, and they could enter in the code however much people that do DM me or at Heinzman Jersey on Instagram, whether it's me or at Heinzman Jersey, just people that hear this code and see this code viewing. Just and I'm gonna say it's gonna be TripleF free. That is the special promo code that you could DM those that have followed us and listened this far. Hopefully, just give us a shout out and like us on Facebook and give us a DM, and then you will be entered to draw in the drawing, and then I will actually be doing. I think I'm gonna do a live drawing. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, most definitely.
And then
We can do that.
we'll do 1 and 2, and
Go
then
live with me on Instagram. Go live with me on Instagram Live, so that way my people can see it as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, should we do that?
Yeah.
I've never done that. I think that would be pretty cool.
Hey, we'll plan it
Yeah.
out, guys. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Special promo code TripleF free, and it's gonna be on the video as I showed there. And no, I'm so excited. I'm gonna do the drawing right as week 1 preseason, and then hopefully you could get the winners of the drawing will get the jerseys by the time the season starts. And gosh, just to end the note on just everything, does this year feel a little different coming into just the NFL season for you guys, or just me? Or it's just different every time for you
It feels
guys?
the same as it does every time. Nope, it's the same
I'm
thing
just
every year
excited
for
I
me.
can actually go to some games now.
Yeah.
Last year, no fans, that sucked. It felt weird not go because I usually like to at least go to 1-2 games a year. So I'm excited to go to some games this year. I'm definitely hitting up that Chargers and Steelers game week 11 Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fun season. I'm excited for it. I'm always optimistic about my team. I always say Chargers to the Super Bowl every year, even though it never happens. But I still keep that faith going strong.
There
You
go.
got to.
And Dougie Fresh, are you going to a game this preseason?
I'm just going to Carolina Panthers preseason game when the Steelers are here. I'm going to take my son to it. It's going to be good fun. Kids don't know if it's a real game or not, so cheap tickets and the nosebleeds, can't really pass on that. We're going to have a good time.
How much were those tickets?
Oh, just about $30 each.
That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
that's about right.
And just letting our audience know, or I don't think I really mentioned this in the podcast, but I know
my Twitter,
like officially that I'm going to my first NFL game. I know I kept mentioning it that I wanted to, but going to Seattle for a primetime game, Sunday Night Football, December 5th. I can't remember what week. That could be week 15 or something. I forget. But I'm so excited. There's so much that I want to learn and know just going to my first game, and how loud that venue is going to be on the road. That underdog mentality as a fan going there, and hopefully not getting punched by a Seahawk fan or me punching a Seahawk fan. It's going to be in the Hawks Nest. That's where my seat is. And every time they kick a field goal, man, I'm going to be on TV, something like that. And I'm just really excited to share that because
man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, growing up as a Niner fan, it's just I've never been to a real game, and I know you guys have, and it's just exciting for me as a fan, and I can't wait to share it with all of you guys.
Yeah, man, you don't forget your first time, that's for sure.
Absolutely. You guys have anything else before TripleFP signs off?
Yeah, follow TripleFP on Twitter, man.
Yeah.
Heisman jerseys. I got the buy two and get one free deal going on until September 9th. So get it while the getting is good.
All right. So Heisman jerseys on Instagram, at TripleFP Show on Twitter. That's the word triple, the letter
and
F,
Facebook.
the letter P, Show.
Absolutely.
So get on it, guys. Start following me. I do some stuff. I'm funny sometimes,
Yes,
Like I could put out content. I only got 9 followers right now. So I mean, if I could get some more followers, let's set goals, man. Let's get me like 100 at least.
All right,
let me get enough people where I could feel the need to constantly put out my thoughts and expressions. Yeah, let's do this, guys.
Again, I have to say, I have low-key been watching at Heisman Jerseys followers, and he's at 994 right now. And I want him to hit 1,000. I want him to hit 1,000 followers by next week, preseason start. It's going to happen. It's fucking going to happen.
And I need 10%. I need 10% of those followers. So the 10% of you from Heisman Jerseys.
I'll do a shout out.
Shout out, yeah. Again, so excited for this season. More content coming your way. Tune in to TripleFP. Again, ending that thought, special promo code TripleF free. Take a look at that. Give us a like on Facebook, DM at Heisman Jersey or Snow Ninja, and then we will enter you in that drawing, and that drawing will be live before the preseason, or at least the preseason week. We'll go from there. Yeah, that was fun, guys. Thank you again. It's always a pleasure with you guys. Tune in for next week. Definitely. I think next week we'll definitely talk about preseason and more on. I definitely we can touch on a little bit on fantasy. It doesn't hurt.
Don't you guys worry. Next show we will definitely have some more fantasy tips coming in. I'll have my little notes and key points written down. We'll have a good.
There'll be more injuries by then too, I'm sure.
So. There'll be more injuries. There'll be some trades. Aaron Rodgers won't be going back to Green Bay anymore. It's going to be awesome, guys. Just stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right, TripleFP.
All right, boys. Have a great night, guys.